building crazy. Actually, 2 minutes early. Let's go for it, huh? Okay. The June 8th meeting of the School Board of Charlotte County is called to order. I would ask you to stand and join us in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I received a phone call this afternoon from one of our board members, Aline Miller, and she is ill and is not going to be able to make the meeting tonight, and we told her we appreciated that very much because she said she is sneezing and coughing, and she did not want to spread those germs to any of us. So that is why she is not here this evening at the meeting. Dr. Gaylor, are there any additions or corrections for this evening's agenda?
Yes, ma'am. There is one under F2F. We have an addendum to the personnel item.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept item F2F as an addendum to the personnel action. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next, we have some reports. Dr. Gaylor.
Yes, ma'am, we do, and some very special and pretty neat reports tonight. And I'd like to start by asking the board to join me down front. We've got some congratulations to give tonight. And while the board is coming down front, if I could ask Jan Gravelin to come to the podium.
Unplanned.
Good evening, Dr. Gaylor, Madam Chair, board members, Mr. McKinley. I am very proud to present the Florida Head Start Teacher of the Year, who is Tracy Pipitone. She received a plaque from the Florida Head Start Association, which is congratulating her out of 44 Head Start grantees in the state. She was named Florida Head Start Teacher of the Year. We are proud to have had Tracy on board for 5 years. Okay, that's okay. She probably didn't know I was going to say this. We've been proud to have her on board for 5 years, and she's been an early Head Start teacher. Okay, thank you. Yeah, shake hands. And our next award is from the Florida Head Start Association. It's an image award, and this was presented to us for Florida recognizing the Baker Center and all our early childhood programs for being recognized as one of the programs of excellence. That's an award that we received in 2007, and Florida Head Start Association has recommended all of the programs that received a Program of Excellence Award to receive an Image Award. So we received this in April, and we're quite proud of this award because at this time there are only 25 programs in the nation that have a Program of Excellence. So I would like to show this to you.
Thank you, Jan. We kind of think all of our teachers are teachers of the year, so we are so pleased that Tracy has been chosen to represent Charlotte County and Head Start, but really she represents the best of all teachers. And congratulations again, Tracy and Jan, and all of the folks at Baker for your Image Award. That's fantastic. Out of 25, there are only 25 programs in the country. That is absolutely outstanding. So make sure that that is put in a prominent place at Baker, Jan. I'd like to ask Dr. Donna Woodmeyer to come to the podium. She is going to introduce the Pirate Peers Program Report, and I see Dan McIntosh here from Port Charlotte High, so Dr. Woodmeyer.
Thank you. Should I turn around that way? This one?
It's a report, so we can probably just sit.
You can probably sit,
okay.
yes, that would be good. Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Gaylor, good evening. This evening I'd like to introduce Dan McIntosh and Scott Nicholas, the Dean and Counselor at Port Charlotte High School, and a young man from Port Charlotte High School, who actually have a wonderful program called the Pirate Peers. This is a program that really reaches out and helps students in an all-year-long effort. So please join me in welcoming Mr. McIntosh.
I was going to talk this way, but that wouldn't work there. Thank you very much for this opportunity to come to you guys tonight. I'm not going to talk too much. We have a video that was prepared by some of our students who are in the program. Real quickly, Pirate Peers was the brainchild of Matt Weldon. Before he left Port Charlotte High School, he charged myself, Mr. Nicholas, and Miss Waters, who was our school social worker, to develop a freshman mentor program. So we got it up and running the first year. This is going to be our fourth year in existence. The video will explain a lot. Mr. Nicholas is going to come up in a moment and share some of the success of the program. And then one of the leaders of our program, Cameron Matheson, will also come up just to give you a quick synopsis. One of the best things about Pirate Peers is the fact that it's student-led. My role as the facilitator of Pirate Peers is really behind the scenes. I take care of the paperwork, make sure the agendas are printed, and so forth. Once it comes time for meeting, though, it's pretty much up to the students. Students run the meeting. The two students who were the lead participants this year basically took control of the meeting, made sure all the materials were there, passed out. And each group had a group leader that basically facilitated the discussion. So really, the strength of this program is the fact that it is student-run and student-led.
Hi, my name is Stephen Majority. I'm the head representative of the Pirate Peers program here at Port Charlotte High School. I took on this leadership position last year from Mr. McIntosh. He kind of started the program a year or two back, and it has evolved greatly. It's a great thing to be involved with. I love the mentors that we have and the mentees, the ninth graders. Pretty much what the program is upperclassmen helping out freshmen. Not always freshmen that have straight A's, perfect home life, that kind of stuff. It's more the ones that need a little bit of guidance. To show how it's evolved, this year we went into a little bit more in depth in selecting our mentors. We actually did an interview process and went through some questionings and stuff like that so that we made sure we had the cream of the crop for our mentors.
Pirate Peers is a very good idea, and it actually helped me a lot because as a freshman, I wasn't comfortable with the campus. So Pirate Peers and talking to the upperclassmen, and it actually helped me get comfortable and get used to it. So this is a really good idea to help me get comfortable with school. And I plan on being a Pirate Peer mentor myself next year.
The upperclassmen help out the freshmen and just pretty much give them guidance. They have an agenda at all the meetings where they're told to follow the agenda, go over some of the stuff, but they're not limited to it. It's pretty much just building a positive relationship with the ninth graders. As the head representative this year, I've taken it upon myself to select the new head reps for next year. Mandy Routen and Joey Joseph are going to take it over, and they're phenomenal kids. They're going to take this program to new heights, and that's what I hope for. Every year, I just hope that it gets better and better, bigger and bigger.
I want to be, like upperclassmen, helping people who are like me as a freshman.
One of the best things that we see in this program is when we see mentees that come in as freshmen and they turn around and be mentors that are upperclassmen. You can see that as sophomores, juniors, or seniors. This year, we've already selected the mentors for next year, and there's a couple of those which we've never had before. So the program wasn't here when I was a freshman or some of the other upperclassmen when it first started. So I think that's amazing. Kids that were in that same situation get to now be the mentors and see it from a different view.
Hi, my name is Cameron Matheson. done this year specifically. As you guys saw some of our stats of what we've done and how our numbers are growing over the last couple of years. This last year we had coming in, we actually had 195 students that were recommended to us from the middle schools. With a lot of kids moving away, transients, things like that, kids even moving back in from other districts, we absorbed some of those kids back into our system. In the end, by the end of the year, we ended up having 129 students left in the program. What I'm going to give you is some of the data based on what we already had. Unfortunately, because of all the transients, we only had about 50 of the students that we had prior information for that I can tell you about how they made improvements. Of those 50 students, 29 of them had attendance issues coming from the middle schools. Out of those 29, 24 showed improvements in their attendance. That means basically that they either had over 9 absences for the year. Some of those students had 0 absences for the year by the time they got to us by the end of the year. As far as academics, there were 40 students who had academic issues. In that, they showed 23 of them had made growth. And within that group, we had 3 of those 23 students who had achieved better than a 3.0. And a lot of those students Mom designated as having academic issues had below a 2.0, in some cases even a 1.5. So we're seeing a lot of growth from those specific students. Beyond that, because I didn't have data for all the students, I can tell you that within the roughly 129 students, I believe 12 of them had over a 3.0 average. So we're seeing a lot of growth of kids just within the system we're taking in and helping them along. With discipline issues, some of the kids that we had did show some discipline issues. 24 of them, in fact, having more than 3 referrals at the middle school level. 13 of these students had shown gains where they had 0 referrals. Within the greater population, I think that we've made a lot of differences for a lot of the students, and the fact that what would have happened if we didn't put programs in place like Cameron to work with these other students to help them, take them by a hand and help them become successful, where they hadn't been successful at the middle schools as much. Now they're getting that mentor and that friend they're going to carry on for the next couple of years in high school to help them be successful and graduate. With that, I'm going to turn this over to Cameron Matthewson, one of our mentors who's actually worked with students, and maybe give a quick little snippet about what he's done and how he's helped some students, and maybe answer some questions because he's the one that's actually living and breathing this. Good luck.
Thanks, Nicholas. Hey, hi guys, how are you today? I don't have much to say, but I will give you a brief insight to my life with this program. I started out my junior year. I was a mentor. I was under the leadership of a senior and learned a lot through that process, being an assistant to her, giving these freshmen as much of the advice that I had to offer as possible. My senior year, I pushed to a little more leadership on a bigger scale kind of role. I asked Matt, how can I get involved more? I'm really interested. And he said, well, you know what? We want this to become a student-led organization. We're moving there. So if you're interested, take it. He gave me that opportunity. And I said, Steven, I need somebody to do this with me, man. You went with me. He said, you got it, man. Let's do it. So the 2 of us, we hit it off. We grabbed 3 other seniors that we felt really comfortable with, and we started pushing this program. I can tell you this, at the beginning, I was really nervous. I didn't think we were going to be able to make the impact that we had last year. I thought it was one of those phenomenon things where you just got the right group of kids. But over the long term, it showed that the program works, and I was really impressed by that. And the thing that I hope for next year with Mandy and Joey is that they will take it to another level. They're going to have more kids. And it's going to be even more difficult because they're going to have to maintain not only those freshmen, but their peers as well. It's an incredibly difficult role to maintain the focus of a whole group of 9th-graders and your own peers. You have to share classes with every day. It's not easy. And so here I am speaking in front of you guys, which I really was impressed that I got the opportunity. I never thought I'd have this opportunity to speak in front of somebody at such a prestigious level. I thought I was just going to volunteer some hours, help some kids out, help myself out. But here I am advocating for a program that has not only helped me and the freshmen, but my peers as well. And I can tell you what we need. We need your support. We need guest speakers, motivational speakers. Okay? These kids need every opportunity they can. And speak for it if it wasn't successful. I wouldn't come up here and say, push this because it's a great idea. It's really just bells and whistles. It's not. It actually works. The things that these kids look up to is not pizza parties or movies. It's hanging out with their upperclassmen and getting to talk with them about their lives. So it's something I'm really happy to be a part of. And that's a wrap for me. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them.
I have a question. What kind of speakers are you interested in?
Motivational speakers. I'm not an expert in different motivational types or different fields. I do know that at my orientation for FSU, I had a great speaker, Dr. Martin, come down and speak to us a little bit about what it means to be disciplined and what it means to have character. So anybody who could really give that outside information, some kind of role model, something that kids would look up to. It doesn't have to be an NBA star or whatever, but if you've got something that you can offer to us, maybe it's one of you guys on the school board. Maybe showing that kind of appearance would give them some kind of wow, they actually care about us here. We're freshmen and we have some people that are supposed to be the brass of the county here talking to us. That'd be awesome. So really anything you can afford to give, of course I'll take, but
We have access to a lot of different kinds of speakers, veterans, state government, careers. How do we get a hold of you to run people past you?
don't run it by me. Talk to these guys up here. Mac and Nicholas, Joey and Mandy. I've retired from this gig. I did my part training this summer. We took it a little farther. You heard about the interview process. We did interview quite a bit for the positions. But this summer I did a quick, I believe it was an hour-long seminar, so to speak, interaction kind of thing, talking to my mentors for next year who are going to be leading it. Got them basically prepared for what they were going to be doing, set the guidelines, the easy stuff. I did a little guitar, made it fun, whatever. So that's our thing. But anything you can offer, I'm sure we'll take. So, any others?
Great. So you already got a card out of that, Cameron. Good job. Cameron and Scott and Dan, thank you so much. And it's just kids helping kids and sort of brings out that leader in me, the Covey. So that's really, really fantastic, and I love the stats. Actually, I'd like to hear a little bit more about the program as you run into next year, too, and I think we can probably find a lot of people to come in and really work with you in terms of speakers. So talk with us, okay? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Another very special report, Charlotte High School boys track recognition. I'd like to call Barney Duffy, principal, to the podium. This is the first state championship track team I believe Charlotte High has ever had, so I want to recognize the team tonight. Barney.
Thank you, Dr. Gaylor. Madam Chairman, board members, Dr. Gaylor, my bodyguards, it is truly an honor to come before you this evening and introduce some very special people to Charlotte High School. As Dr. Gaylor alluded to, the male track program has been in existence, we believe, since about the 1940s. I'd have to check with Gussie Baker. She's not here tonight. But the bottom line is this is the first time ever that a group of young men in our track program have come home with a state championship. They're very special individuals. I want to thank their parents. I don't know if any of the parents are here this evening, but thank you for loaning these young men to Charlotte High. You've done a terrific job. At this time, I'd like to introduce some of our adult members of the track program, our coaches. First off, Brian Nolan, our athletic director. Wade Taylor, coach, Charlotte High grad as well. Tom Mutt, assistant coach. Chris George, and our head track coach, Jerry Voss, who will introduce the young men. Coach Voss.
Thank you very much, folks. It's been a wonderful year for us. Madam Chairperson, the board, Dr. Gaylor, Jerry over there. I see you because we have a fantastic facility at Charlotte High School, and without that facility, I mean, these kids wouldn't have what they have right now. So thank you very much for what Charlie gave us right now. Also, Cameron, man, that was a passionate speech. Guys, what you're doing over there, Mr. Riley back there does play the guitar and has told me that he would be available to speak for you. So he's right back in the back row right there. What I'd like for you to do, folks, and leaders of our educational community, is to introduce our kids that were our boys track team that represented us in Orlando about a month ago. And we'll get right to it. Our seniors, Jesse Brown is not here tonight. C.J. Morris also is not here tonight. Corey Menzer couldn't be here tonight. They're all three going on to college for us. And our one senior that is here is going to Duke, Anthony Polizzi. Juniors. Tyler Cardillo is up in New York right now, can't be with us. Alex Mutt. Another junior, Michael Bellamy. Another junior, Preston Ritchie. Another junior, Cortland Waters. Another junior, Brian Hilger. And our lone sophomore, Ryan Schnully. Once again, thank you very much, Dr. Gaylor and the board. We sure appreciate it.
Great job. Great job, guys. Pretty awesome. Hang that trophy in a nice place, too, in Charlotte High. You got plenty of room now. I'd like to call Carrie Klum to come to our podium. We're going to recognize some pretty special people this evening who have given a lot of years to Charlotte County Public Schools and, most importantly, to the children of Charlotte County. Carrie.
Thank you. Good evening, Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Gaylor. Since July, we have had 84 employees retire. I think that's the most since I've been with the school district. And tonight we have the honor of recognizing them. And to our retirees, we would like to thank each of you for all of your support and dedication to the children of Charlotte County Public Schools. We appreciate all the time that you have given every day as you give your all. And when I call your name, please come forward to receive your plaque and be recognized by the board. Katie Bauer, Food Service Assistant, Kingsway, 10 years. Sue Benson, Principal Secretary, Meadow Park Elementary, 26 years. Fritz Brozak, Bus Driver, Transportation, 19 years. Linda Carmody, Reading Specialist, ESE, 34 years. Josephine Clough, C, teacher at the Academy, 15 years. George Coggin, fourth grade teacher at East Elementary, 35 years. Linda Coggin, guidance counselor, East Elementary, 35 years. Beverly Fiegel, ESE Para 2 at Charlotte Harbor Center, 23 years. Linda Philby, Para 3 at Port Charlotte High, 11 years. Eileen Fox, Administrative Assistant 2, ESC Department, 12 years. Betty Garneau, Executive Secretary to the School Board, 30 years. Betty Golombinski, Account Clerk, Finance Department, 20 years. Joyce Gaucher, ESE Para 2 at Charlotte High School, 22 years. Mary Ann Hamp, Administrative Assistant 1, Lemon Bay High, 32 years. Nancy Hunter, ESE Teacher, Charlotte High School, 14 years. Paul Januzzi, Custodial Crew Leader 2, Port Charlotte Middle, 13 years. Sorry about that. Robert Karkovich, Bus Driver, Transportation, 8 years. Barbara Lowe, Administrative Assistant 1, ACE, Adult and Community Education, 36 years. James Mackin, Custodian, Port Charlotte High, 15 years. David Martin, Bus Driver, Transportation, 9 years. Mary McGee, Office Assistant 1, Adult Community Education, 6 years. Roy McIntosh, C Teacher, The Academy, 9 years. Maureen Marigold, Executive Secretary, Human Resources, 11 years. William Marigold, Carpenter, Maintenance Department, 10 years. Dolores Norris, STEM Lab Teacher, Mayaca River Elementary, 33 years. Christine Pollock, ESOL Teacher, Charlotte High School, 18 years. Joanne Poor, Language Arts Teacher, Port Charlotte High, 8 years. Charles, as we all know him, Chuck Richards, Manager, Employee Relationships, Human Resources, 7 years. Stephen Ross, 5th grade teacher, Meadow Park Elementary, 32 years. Sorry about that. Martha Nan Shimbray, ESE Para 2 at Liberty, 24 years. Helen Singer, Baker for Food Service at the Academy, 6 years. Albert Taylor, Property Control Assistant, Purchasing, 7 years. John Topping, Mechanic, Transportation, 8 years. Janice Talk, 3rd grade teacher, Sally Jones Elementary, 27 years. Karen Turnbull, school psychologist, student services, 23 years. Randy Whitaker, media specialist, Charlotte High School, 28 years. Linda Williams, health teacher, Charlotte Tech Center, 19 years. Sharon Williams, Para 3 at Charlotte Harbor Center, 12 years. Is there anyone that I missed? Okay. Well, we're going to, at this time, we're going to call out the names of the folks that weren't able to be with us tonight. And if you want to just hold your applause to the end. Elaine Appel, ESE Para 2, Charlotte Harbor Center, 16 years. Mary Sabalius, Director of Purchasing, 37 years. Paul Cleveland, Social Studies teacher, LA Angel, 27 years. Catherine Davis, health teacher, LA Angel, 23 years. Ellen DeVita, adult teacher at Charlotte Tech Center, 12 years. Connie Emmons, 4th grade teacher at Kingsway, 9 years. John Ferris, NJROTC teacher at Lemon Bay High for 9 years. Frank Guckin, Havac mechanic and maintenance for 17 years. Elizabeth Harshaw, kindergarten teacher, Deep Creek Elementary, 6 years. Christine Hempel, bus driver, transportation, 12 years. Rosanna Hips, language arts teacher at Lemon Bay, 31 years. Catherine Herska, PE teacher, Liberty Elementary, 32 years. Michael Jennings, PE teacher, Port Charlotte Middle, 9 years. Nancy Jones, 5th grade teacher, Sally Jones, 38 years. Carol Cardy, ESE liaison, Port Charlotte Middle, 21 years. Leslie Krause, band director, Port Charlotte Middle, 25 years. Thomas Lewandowski, bus driver, transportation, 12 years. Donald Lyerly, NJROTC teacher at Charlotte High for 26 years. William McDonald, bus driver, transportation, 14 years. Patricia McMillan, 2nd grade teacher, Myakka River, 8 years. Walter Marsh, bus driver, transportation, 11 years. Julie Martin, 2nd grade teacher, East Elementary, 10 years. Donald Mastriavani, bus driver, transportation, 7 years. Josephine Mastriavani, food service assistant, Charlotte High, 7 years. Iris Moline, ESE Para 2 at Murdoch Middle, 15 years. Harry Mitzer-Holzer, groundskeeper, sites and grounds, 16 years. Marita No, math teacher, Charlotte High, 38 years. Elizabeth Oldfield Hall, VE teacher, Lemon Bay High, 15 years. Audrey Passanelli, dropout prevention teacher, Murdoch Middle, 6 years. Thomas Pellegrino, bus driver, transportation, 7 years. Mildred Rochester, office assistant 1, human resources, 6 years. Jackie Lynn Ross, reading teacher, Charlotte High, 6 years. Marilyn Snyder, 2nd grade teacher, Myakka River, 19 years. Karen Seamus, 4th grade teacher, Liberty Elementary, 24 years. Anne-Marie Seibert, food service assistant, Charlotte High, 7 years. Marianne Sloan, health teacher, Charlotte Tech Center, 14 years. Wendell Smith, custodian, LA Angel, 7 years. Kathy Tornwall, PE teacher, LA Angel, 35 years. Peter Troncone, bus driver, transportation, 15 years. Susie Valade, 4th grade teacher, Deep Creek, 22 years. Carol Boder, food service assistant, Port Charlotte High, 9 years. Deborah Warren, kindergarten teacher, Deep Creek, 27 years. Dwayne Winger, custodian, LA Angel, 19 years. Janet Williams, director of media and special projects, 6 years. Joanne Winkler, 5th grade teacher, Liberty Elementary, 34 years. Carol Zeroff, 2nd grade teacher at Myakka River, 29 years. We have a total of 1,502 years that these retirees have worked. Give them all a good hand. Thank you.
1,000 years, but y'all don't look a day over 39. Thank you, retirees, for everything that you have done for this community, for the students of Charlotte County. I know you have worked extraordinarily hard, and of course, through the last 5 or 6 years in the wake of the storm and this economic condition that we're in, just thank you so much for all that you put into the system, particularly during those years. Really appreciate it very, very much. Thank you.
Let's go. It'll take some time till we get up. I know exactly. Somehow, whenever that happens, our eyes always somehow we both go straight there. And when we kind of are caught by the same good reports.
All right, since we have no old business this evening, we'll move to new business. And item F1 is the consent agenda. Dr. Gaylor.
Yes, ma'am. I'd recommend that we approve the consent agenda submitted to you.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion? And did you want to say something about the tech center students designing?
Yes, ma'am. May I make a comment?
Yes.
Yeah. On our agenda, we have a couple of. Let me see exactly what it is here that we've got.
Redesigns?
Yes, redesigns of our Charlotte Technical Center in the cosmetology area and in the automotive department. And I just wanted to make a note for those of you who are here and for the public that those redesigns were actually designed by Charlotte Technical Center students over in our digital design area, which means that we didn't necessarily have to have an architect or an engineer. They were able to design plans that were so good that they were accepted by Owen Ames Kimball, and they'll be able to see the fruit of their labors at some point when those projects are finished. So we thought that was a very relevant thing for kids to be able to do their work in the classroom and then ultimately see it come to life in the cosmetology department and the automotive department.
Excellent. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next is item F2A, the Charlotte County Public School Technology Plan.
Yes, ma'am. This technology plan runs for the period of this July 2010 through June 30th of 2013. I'd like to ask Chris Bress, who is our Executive Director for Learning Through Technology, to take you briefly through the plan. Chris, welcome.
Madam Chairman, school board members, Dr. Gaylor, and Mr. McKinley, thank you for allowing me to speak with you tonight. It's my honor to bring the 5th chapter of Charlotte County Public Schools Technology Plans. It's almost 17 years ago that the first plan was written, which was really kind of amazing when you think about it. The amount of great growth that has occurred You know, I go back and I look at some of those things, and I think back to the very beginning where we had 64K connections out to the schools, and now we have 100 megabit connections out to the schools, which are many thousands of times faster, and the capacity that has grown. And it's been the futuristic thinking of the school board and the support of our superintendent that has enabled us to maintain current and, in my belief, really lead the state of Florida in many of the things that we do. The tech plan, as you see in front of you, has a couple of slight changes since the last time you had seen it. Dr. Giller had brought to my attention that on the demographics page, we were actually using the total school demographics, which included Crossroads and a couple of other locations. So I made adjustments so that it's more reflective to the standard plan. I've emailed that to all of you, but that's the only substantial change that you'd seen. The most interesting parts about the technology plan as we move into the future is the integration of some of the cool stuff that has happened since the hurricane. We talk about the addition of interactive whiteboards. We talk about the addition of audio enhancement type systems. And also we talk about greater integration of technology into the classroom. We also focus on the implementation of the LTT teacher cadre. And so we're excited to see how staff development continues to take a front role in how we implement technology. It's one of the main tenets of the plan that we want to implement technology in a thoughtful and cost-effective way, and it's only through sufficient staff development that we can assure that our teachers are going to use what we provide them in a successful and correct manner. So as the plan is submitted to you tonight, we look forward to looking into our crystal ball for the next 3 years, and it's always fun because things change so quickly in the area of technology, but I'm happy to answer any questions on the plan that you may have.
Ms. Messina.
Thank you. Chris, I noticed in there that your priority dream is to have some additional staff.
Yes.
And so
someday my dream will come. What is that when you wish upon a star?
Well, I don't want you to give up hope. Maybe there's some grants or something
Yes.
out there. Keep up the good work. But one of the things I really want to compliment you on is something that you just alluded to, and that is that we can't just have the technology if we don't have the support for the technology and the training and the coaching. And I think in this district, since you've been here that I'm aware of, we've done a really good job and been committed to making sure we had those things and not expanding farther than we're able to, which then, as you know, ends up kind of going against the cause anyway. But I just really wanted to emphasize that point and wish you good luck in finding funding for those staff positions, because you're already understaffed as it is. We know that. Believe me, we do. And I don't want you to think that we didn't notice that in there.
I appreciate that.
Any other comments? I just wanted to say, as I remembered back to, I haven't been here 17 years, but I thought it was the first technology plan we worked on. We had people in the audience who spoke to us about the folly and the waste of taxpayer money. So we have come a long way in just a community understanding of the value of what we do. And I think a lot of it has been because of your team's leadership and the fact that people are using. It's not just that we have it in the schools, but it is being used and used well. So I congratulate your entire team for that.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Next is item F2B, the comprehensive safety inspection reports.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'd like to ask Gene Spur, who is our Director of Maintenance, to come to the podium and talk with us about the comprehensive safety inspection reports for almost 30 of our facilities that are excellent again this year. Gene, welcome.
Thank you, Madam School Board members, Dr. Gaylor, Mike. The Maintenance and Operations Department has completed the annual comprehensive fire, casualty, safety, sanitation inspections at the 29 district facilities in accordance with sections 1013.12 Florida statutes, state requirements for educational facilities, section 5 in the Florida Administrative Code, chapter 69A-58 for the 2009-2010 school year. The inspections were conducted by Mr. Brian Ross, our plant operations specialist, local fire marshal having jurisdiction, a third-party independent inspection authority certified through the state of Florida, the head custodian, and a building administrator at each facility. Of the 10,000 completed work orders for this year, 1,700 were specific to the SREF inspections. of the 21 schools, 9 of those schools have shown a reduction in SREF deficiencies for the 2009-2010 school year from last year. So I am pleased to inform you that as of this date, this report reflects 0 open, uncompleted SREF work orders. So if you have any questions, I'm done.
Good work.
Thank you.
As usual. Do you know, though, Jean, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I was just wondering if you have access to different districts' information, and are we one of the top districts as far as no open reports, like you were saying?
You did put me on the spot. No. There is information out there for everything. I do not have that. I could certainly take a look at that and see. Again, it was probably about 7 years ago when Jerry first kind of took over, and that became kind of a priority because the SREF inspections obviously are very important. They're safety and health inspections related to the schools and for our students and our faculty. So the fact that they go out, we inspect, and then we get to a point where every one of them is taken care of is not only just from the maintenance department, it's also from the schools, that they understand that this is an important process.
Safety is big. Thank you.
Thanks, Jean.
Recommended action?
Yes, ma'am. I'd recommend approval of the comprehensive safety inspection reports as presented by Jean.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the comprehensive safety inspection reports. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next is item F2C, Meadow Park Elementary remodel renovations and new construction phase 2.
Yes, ma'am, and that is exactly what that is, and we are pleased to present to you tonight for Phase 2, a $17.898 million guaranteed maximum price. If you'll compare that against the $21.2 million price tag for East Elementary School about 3 years ago, it's about a $3.2 million difference. So prices are good. We're very pleased with that. Representatives, of course, from Owen Ames Kimball are here this evening. In case you want to negotiate with them and get a little bit lower while we're here, so we can do that.
Is there still room for that?
You never know. But we're very pleased with the price and, of course, the work that has been done on the previous schools that OAK has done, and we're really looking forward to getting Meadow Park vertical. So if you have some questions, of course, Jerry is here to answer those, and Jean as well. If not, I'll recommend approval of this guaranteed maximum price as submitted to you this evening.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the guaranteed maximum price as presented to us this evening for Meadow Park Elementary School. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously, and we can't wait. Next is item F2D, Bureau Veritas, North America, Inc., Building Code Compliance.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. BVNA, as they are known, provides us with building, permitting, inspections, plan review, and all sorts of building code administration services. And they have done an excellent job for us for a number of years, and we're suggesting that we contract with them again for the 2010-2011 school year. They've just done an excellent job for us over the past several years. They've been with us since the storm. So I'd recommend approval of the BVNA Building Code Compliance contract as submitted to you this evening.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the BVNA contract as submitted. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next is item F2E, the transfer of bus title to Boys and Girls Club. Dr. Gaylor.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. From time to time, the Boys and Girls Club, YMCA, and other organizations and agencies, not-for-profit, that we have a relationship with, ask if we have surplus materials, supplies, or equipment. And the Boys and Girls Club has asked if we could provide them with a surplus bus. And, of course, we do have a surplus bus that's available. We'll transfer the title to them, and, of course, they're going to assist us in doing some transportation of kids from the temporary location of Meadow Park at East Elementary School back to the Port Charlotte area. So they're really helping us out, helping kids out and families out as well. So we're happy to transfer the title to this bus to them. So I'd recommend that we transfer this bus title to the Boys and Girls Club as submitted to you this evening.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we transfer the bus title to the Boys and Girls Club as submitted. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next is item F2F, personnel action as amended.
Yes, ma'am, and I would recommend that we approve the personnel action item as submitted to you this evening.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the personnel action as submitted. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next is citizen comment. Is there anyone wishing to address us?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Attorney comment. Mr. McKinley.
Nothing tonight, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Board member comment. Mrs. Rendell.
Just want to congratulate all the retirees. Talking with many of them, I can assure you that there is indeed life after Charlotte County Public Schools. So that's always nice to hear, that people aren't so attached that they are afraid to retire. People were telling me about their travel plans, their family plans, their volunteer plans, and moving plans for some of them. And do want to thank them for their support and dedication to our students and to our district, and wish them a very happy and contented retirement. And if Mrs. Miller is watching this in a couple days when it's on our video, just hope you get better soon, Mrs. Miller. It's been quite a cold she's had. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. And your twin, Mrs. Messina?
I would like to say, as the parent of one of the students enrolled in the driver's ed program this summer, I want to thank the district for continuing to provide that for our students, because the safety of those teenagers is paramount. And I also would like to caution parents whose kids are on the road to getting that. There's a whole lot of hoops they have to jump through with those classes online and 24-hour waiting periods and all that kind of stuff. But looking forward to seeing the results of those hours behind the wheel training before he gets behind my wheel. So the other thing I wanted to mention was last week I think we all got a kind of nondescript email from the State Department of Education informing us, because it's not really a big deal, that the FCAT test scores, there's a delay and there's a problem, and we'll get to them when we can, kind of a email. And I just really am alarmed at the difficulties that are coming out of the testing, the scoring actually of this year's FCAT. And as of today at 5 p.m., 61 articles across the state, 61 newspapers have carried articles across the state. And I think that more than, it's not just the fact that the test results are late. That's the least of our concerns. It's how that affects everything that we do in this district, and how schools can have their entire reputations based on the results of this one test, which if they're having difficulty validating the scores, there's going to be questions about the validity of those scores when they do come out. And the Miami Herald made some statements that I think are worth repeating, and that is nearly all major testing companies have had problems since the No Child Left Behind law made standardized testing a national priority. Companies overpromise and underdeliver, and states, particularly in the last several years because of fiscal crisis, take the lowest bidder who promises to do the job, whether the company's track record demonstrates that they can do the job or not. And they're talking about scoring the tests. While the standardized tests are used to hold schools accountable, students and educators accountable, there is no accountability for the corporations who make and score these tests. And I think especially when we've had a difficult legislative year with the passing of Senate Bill, or not the passing, thank God, of Senate Bill 6, but people really misunderstanding why we were against Senate Bill 6, it's important that people understand things like this and how it affects our school districts. So one of the things I'd like, Mrs. Rendell, when you are up at the Board of Directors this week, I would like for the State Association to have some conversation about this, because I really think it's incumbent upon all of us in public education to educate organizations like the Chamber who were supportive of Senate Bill 6, and just let them know that here's kind of some of the reasons why we really need to take a little bit closer look at some of those things before we just jump on board. So that is all for me, and just a big concern for me. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Swift.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Just two things. The young Cameron, the young man from Port Charlotte High School,
what enthusiasm and passion for the program that he's been involved in, and what a good representative of them and that program. And I'm looking forward to see it continue to develop, and I think we ought to all try to go and speak to the group of kids at some time if it's of your interest to do that. And just to pick up on one thing that Mrs. Messina said, about the testing program being done by the lowest bidder. I think it was either John Glenn or Alan Shepard, when asked, what the scariest thing about sitting on top of that rocket was. He said, well, the scariest thing was knowing he was sitting on a multi-billion-dollar rocket that was all built and supplied by the lowest bidder. And sometimes we seem to do that, give our most critical functions and put it together in a way that does not necessarily guarantee a successful outcome. And we're going to have to continue to monitor. I think the email that we got from the Department of Education certainly did not lend any great comfort in what was going to be coming down the road in the next few weeks and months. But it's interesting when they make a mistake how cavalier the attitude is, but if something happens at the school level, they're swinging axes and wanting to take heads and whatever, and that's it's got to be different. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I just wanted to remark that I observed a fantastic writing in-service last week with Melissa Forney here in this room. It just was fabulous. I was sorry that I couldn't sit here and enjoy the entire session, both days' sessions that she was doing. And I understand that there were other excellent in-services going on throughout the county. So congratulations to all who had a part of putting those in-services together. It's, again, as Mrs. Messina remarked earlier, with our technology and the training that we do there, that this is a way that we've identified that we can really impact student success. And I am so glad that none of that has fallen under a budget knife. And I'm hoping also that everyone has noticed, even though we are all still working, the pace has slowed down a little bit, and everybody will have some time to sharpen the saw. That's it for me this evening. Superintendent comment, Dr. Gaylor.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Really great reports tonight. I have to agree. The Charlotte High track team, the Port Charlotte High mentoring program, just outstanding. And what a great group of retirees. I just mentioned to Mrs. Seifert, as I didn't get to all of them, but a lot of smiles, a lot of really happy people looking forward to that retirement, and a lot of neat plans. So that's a good thing. It was just a happy set of reports. And yeah, isn't that interesting on the FCAT results? If we had Senate Bill 6 pass, I suppose, with the FCAT scores coming out at the end of June, and you already having had reappointed teachers, how would we be able to assess them on the basis of their student achievement after we'd already reappointed them? I guess we could lag it a year? Is that what we do? So it's all very interesting. We're going to have issues with that. Of course, the master schedules are on hold right now. Kids who we need to put into intensive reading next year, we don't know exactly who those kids are at this point, so principals are going to go home. Those 11-month principals are going to go home here before the tests come out, and they'll have to come back in July and make plans very quickly to get those kids into courses rather than being able to put them into courses before they left for the summer. So that's an issue, and of course my evaluation of principals isn't complete. So I'm going to have to evaluate them when they come back in July rather than before they leave. So it throws everything really into a big mess. And I was really concerned when I heard the Jacksonville Times-Union, or read the Jacksonville Times-Union today, and saw that the Duval County Chief Academic Officer and several others commented, "This is no big deal. We'll be fine. It'll be okay." which lends credence to the laissez-faire attitude that the Department of Education has. I don't appreciate that from other districts, saying that it's going to be fine. It's really not fine. It's a big mess, and it really puts us back in many, many ways. And I don't know what they're doing in Duval County, but I know in Charlotte County it hurts us. So I think a lot of other people feel that way as well. I also just want to say again, although I know many, many people have said it, to Dr. Whitaker, congratulations on your selection as superintendent to take over in January. Really going to be just a fine, however many years you spend as superintendent here in Charlotte County, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I think it's going to be outstanding. So I think you picked yourselves a good leader. And I also want to say to Dr. Widmeyer, thank you so much for your courage in applying and going through that process. And either of you would have been an outstanding choice for this board. Thank you so much for that. Just a really good process in this district. The board did an outstanding job of really solidifying a process this year that can be used in the future when you need to select a superintendent. And the internal strife was absolutely non-existent, not only among the two candidates, but among our employees. It was just outstanding. So the process was good, the selection was good, the manner in which you conducted every bit of business with respect to this search was outstanding, and you've given a blueprint for boards to come in the future. So thank you all for that. That's very good. That's all I have, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Meeting adjourned.